I mean, Dubs, you know, I feel like Dubs is like, this is how I feel. I feel like Dubs is bound by his loyalty right now. He's bound out by his loyalty to a man that he feels has been good to him, right? So he can't. If he turned his back on him now, it would be the equivalent of like letting your homeboy go to the yard. You know what I mean? By himself. If your homie came to you, he was like, "Hey, homie, I gotta go handle some stuff. I need you to come with me," and you were like, "Nah, dog." You know what I mean? That's basically where he's at. That's where Gunner and Dubs are at. And so Dubs is stuck with him because he has honor, because Dubs is an honorable individual. You know what I mean? Who thinks that his word means something. And let's be honest, a lot of the times on the internet, and not on the internet in general, but on YouTube in general, cats that are super, super good with you will just flip on you. Boom. Like that. There's no loyalty. There's no loyalty. And whenever you have loyalty like that, it makes you sick whenever you see it. And so I know what Dubs is going through right now. I know how he feels about the fact that this fool's, what the things he said about American Cholo, let's put it that way. But we're going to get into this video in just a second. He is. Thank you, Choco. Everybody, please tap in with Culture War Vultures. That's my new venture with Vegas Profile Stories, where we talk about all the craziness in the world. Right? Let's turn this music off. Oh. I got some new graphics coming. I've been working on some new graphics. Working on that. Boom. Let's get into this. Pack me a little bowl. Now so everybody knows the story. If you're over here watching this, you know what the problem is. Gunner smutted up. Just a real quick recap for people who are watching later on. Gunner smutted up YouTuber American Cholo. Gunnerz Collective did with some fake paperwork. Okay, so now you're about to watch the apology. Actually, the second apology from a man who smeared somebody else as an SO, who smeared somebody as somebody who touches children. And not only that, somebody who's in the street life and was brought up in the gang, right? Who is and so would have to answer for these things. There would be consequences for these things if this was true, not just YouTube consequences. So keep that in mind. You're about to watch the apology of a man who just smeared another man with fake paperwork. Okay? Here we go.
You want to express, right? So right now, I want to know, what is your state of mind right now with all of this YouTube drama that's going on?
You know, it's hectic. I'm not gonna lie, it's hectic. There's a lot being said. At this point in my YouTube career, or what I've been doing on YouTube, I'm getting a lot of arrows shot at me, right? More than ever. You know, for 3 years, I've been doing this YouTube thing now, and from day one, it's been like this. I don't know.
Is that true? Has he been getting hated on from the beginning? I know he's been doing scumbag stuff since I've known about him. Pretty much ever since I got on YouTube, I know he's been doing scumbag stuff. He started with VPS.
If it was what I brought to the YouTube game or you know, what I intended to bring, but something rubbed people the wrong way and they felt some type of way. I don't know if it's, you know, clout. I hate to use that word because you can't get clout off someone that doesn't consider themselves having clout.
That's called a humble brag. Oh, I don't consider myself having clout. That's stupid. That's a humble brag. You got 60,000 subscribers. That don't even mean nothing. Don't pay attention to that. That's just it's a way to endear yourself to your audience. It doesn't really mean anything, no.
So, I never look at myself like I'm famous or YouTube famous or anything like that. So I don't see what the big deal is about me, you know, pushing out my content, saying what I'm saying, doing what I'm doing, and having the agenda I have, which is the unity of the people, for the people.
The unity of the people is not smutting them up with false allegations.
I never came in with the intentions to hurt nobody, disrespect anybody. But along the path and along the yellow brick road, as I say, it seems that way. It seems people feel negatively impacted by my content, I guess. So how I feel at this moment, I feel not powerless, because you always have power. You know, you always have the power to say what you're going to say and do what you're going to do. But I feel like I can't prevent anyone from saying what they want to say about me. That's the great thing and the bad thing about.
Yeah, if you go look at his latest videos, he absolutely can prevent you from saying anything bad about it, because his videos have thousands and thousands of views and they have like 3 comments. I think the last one had 3 comments last time I checked. Had over 3,000 views and 3 comments. So he absolutely can.
YouTube and any other social media platform is that people have the right to speak on what they want to speak on, say what they want to say. It's up to the people that are listening, the subscribers, the supporters, the people that are being entertained, whether they grasp it and run with it and what they do with it. I myself, being a consumer of YouTube, even prior to being a content creator, my whole thing was listening to the spills, watching it for merely entertainment, and then pushing on. If I got a little lug out of it, a jewel, then I downloaded that in my CD-ROM, and that was good. But if not, it was just entertainment for myself. So how I feel right now is I feel with everyone. I hate to play the victim role, because that's never been me.
He's never played the victim, but he's about to play the victim. That's what that means. I hate to play the victim role, but here we go. That's never been me, though. Play the victim role. You ready for the victim role? Here we go. Let's find out why it's actually his fault that he smutted somebody else, or why it's not his fault, why it's somebody else's fault that he smutted everybody up.
I've never been that type of character to say, oh, what about me? Or, it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. You could look and see for yourselves what's going on here. And it's not an agenda to shut me down. It's not an agenda to get me to quit YouTube. It's not none of that. What it is more so is... I
actually agree with that. In general, even the cats who really go at him, nobody's like, hey, you shouldn't have your channel. You should shut your channel down. Nobody even expects that. They just expect him not to act like a leva, basically, for lack of a better term.
A gaggle of people, a handful of people that behind the scenes have their own agenda because they don't like me for one reason only, and that's because how quick I was able to accumulate subscribers, or how quick I was able to have my message felt. Now,
we're jealous. That's what that meant. That's what's happening. Is that y'all are jealous. That's why nobody likes this fool. Because we're jealous.
I never asked to be, I'm not going to say number 1 in the genre, because I wasn't, and I've never been. There's people they got way more bigger channels. It's just a lot of people heard me. A lot of people grasped onto what I was saying, and they enjoyed the entertainment, the comedy, whatever I was bringing to the table, whatever I continue to bring to the table. And some people that rubbed them the wrong way because maybe they don't have the same charisma or the same style, the same get down. So they felt that if for no other reason to slander my name and to push an agenda on me. And how does it make me feel? It makes me feel upset at times, not at any particular individuals, because I'm not going to give them enough, I'm not going to give them that they can do that to me. But it makes me upset with myself that I'm not able to avoid some of the situations that I find myself caught up in, because if you look up and down the line on my channel, you see my videos. I tell war stories, or, I speak some current news, and whatever the case is going on. I like to switch it up, for the subscriber, so they get a little bit of everything. And it seems that some people find flaws in.
Just remember, this is an apology. I want you guys to still remember that. We're 5 minutes into an apology. This is just a bunch of useless information. It don't really mean much. But, I mean, we'll listen. We'll continue to listen. Let's get over here to the comments for a second. See what's going on. This is wild. Tommy Thunder, good to see you. Let me take a break and just address the comments. Mario, Sea-Dog, good looking. Gunnerz SMY Buster, Johnny Cab in the house. Kaczynski, good looking. Salute. They enjoyed the lies. That's what they say about Gunner. He's been lying about the real ones in audio since the very beginning. He can't go anywhere in Northern California and move freely. He's disrespected so many hoods. There's literally kites saying take flight. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, you always got to watch for that. I always pay attention to that whenever people can't go back to their own neighborhoods, because it tells you something. Because my people in my neighborhood love me. Still, a lot of them, even, I mean, there's a couple people who want the heads up with me, but like I sleep good at night, put it that way. There's like 2 people who want the heads up with me. And whenever we see each other, it'll probably be the one-on-one, and we'll just figure it out there. But like, I never burn nobody. I never nothing, man. I can walk around my neighborhood. I can talk to my friends. I go ask everybody for interviews. Most of them won't give me interviews. They'll talk to me, but they won't give me interviews. But they'll talk to me, though. They just won't go on camera. But let's see. Oh, gang. Here we go. Let's get back over to this.
Every single thing that I do, if I eat menudo, it has to be out of a can. If I breathe air, it has to be tainted air. I mean, I can't do anything. And so I feel like alienated is the word, Dubs. That's how I feel, alienated right now. Like I have to push on solo bolo.
Now, let's be honest. This fool has a ride, right? He's just not welcome in it. He's from the ex-Northerner ride in Northern California, right? Which there's several of them. There's EBK, right? There's Jay Hans. There's several. There is a ride there, right? So he has a ride. Ex-Northerners. He should have a ride to chill with. These should be your dudes. And even now they don't want nothing to do with him, you see? And these are the people that he's saying. This is why he's saying this. Let me run that back. He's saying alienated. He is alienated because he's literally been kicked out of his own ride. It's not that the Southerners hate him. It's not that it's just random people hating on YouTube, right? It's not just trolls. It's not just Triple OG, right? It's his ride, homie. His ride doesn't want him.
And it seems that some people find flaws in every single thing that I do. If I eat menudo, it has to be out of a can. If I breathe...
The only people that are like this are EBK. EBK is the only one who's like, nah, this fool can't do nothing right. No, I guess what's his name? Shout out to EBK. EBK stays on this fool's helmet. He's funny though. He's funny, but he's not disrespectful. That's why I love EBK, homie. He's not disrespectful. He just, hey, you know what I mean? He's a chill dude. I'd like to smoke with that dude someday. We'll go back home.
It has to be tainted air. I mean, I can't do anything. And so I feel like alienated is the word, Dubs. That's how I feel, alienated right now. Like I have to push on solo bolo. But I do have a strong team around me. I do have strong friends, people I consider friends or brothers around me. And that keeps me pushing. But I do feel alienated. You know, that a lot of people, especially in this genre that we're in, or we're considered to be in, people don't know how to separate, you know, what is entertainment and what is fun from gangs and prison politics and things of that nature. You know, it always seems to become involved in the day-to-day talk or speak. And
when you accuse somebody of being an SO, it can get political. When you accuse somebody who's you know what I mean? Like American Cholo. If you accuse somebody like American Cholo, yes, it can get political real quick, I would think.
And it just, to me, I just feel alienated. I don't feel I'm at a point where I'm going to tap out. I don't feel I'm at a point where I'm mad and I want to do something to somebody. And if that was to be done, that wouldn't be spoken on here, especially on your channel. I have my own channel to speak my feelings, but one thing I'll say for sure is just definitely alienated, but not broken, you know, period.
All right. Now, here's the question that everybody's asking. Everybody wants to know. Why did you put out the video on Gil from American Cholo, and what was your state of mind when you did that?
Okay, so my state of mind was this. Earlier that morning was the first time that I heard about that there was some paperwork floating around. Whether it's real paperwork or not paperwork, I'm not here to dispute it. That's, you know, I've said what I've said to Gil, apologized, and I'm going to leave it there. But it was told to me, I got on the phone, someone told me, hey, there's some paperwork floating around. This is what's being said, that he said, she said. And immediately my first instinct was, well, I want to see it. I want to see it. I've been around the block. I'm curious, just like anyone else would be. I couldn't believe it. This individual I was talking to, we couldn't believe it.
Oh, he couldn't believe it. That's crazy. Because in the original video that he made that I have a copy of, it's on my members only page, right? He says, I knew it. I told you so. I told you so. It's also on my live stream on Culture War Vultures. You can find it on the live stream. I did a live reaction to it. Or you can see the unedited version. This fool's lying. He said it. He said, I knew it all along. I knew it. I knew American Cholo was dirty. Come on, fool.
Like, I've seen a lot of things with Gil, like people say narcissist or petty or whatever they say. And maybe I felt that way too at a time. But one thing, I never felt that he was a weirdo, a chomo or things like that. That never even crossed my mind. I would never.
He literally said, I knew it. He was like, I knew it. Whatever, fool. I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to edit this into something, and it's going to be him saying that, and then it's going to be him saying, oh, no. Watch. I should put that other one on private.
Never even put him in that category.
Can't get it taken down.
So when someone spoke on that, and they said, hey, this is what's going around, I said, well, I want to see it, just like anyone else. And so over a course of a couple hours, there was a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes with certain individuals. It was sent to me. And I did a once over. I looked at it, and I remember telling the guy I was talking to on the phone, wow, man, I can't believe this. If this is true, this hurts, This hurts him. This hurts the raza. This hurts a lot of people. So what am I going to do with this? And the person that I was talking to on the phone, I consider him more of an advisor. He's grounded. He has a good state of mind at all times, right? So me and him got to conversate, and he said, well, maybe instead of just putting it out there, you should, and jumping the gun, we should call him or try to get a hold of him now.
Yeah, you think? You think? You should reach out to somebody if you had any respect. If you had any respect for somebody at all, do you think it'd be a good idea before you went on the internet and smeared them as an SO? You think it might be a good idea to give them a call? An email? You know what I mean? A text message. How about a text message? Just, hey, dog, I got some bad paperwork. How you here, dog? What's going on? What is this? That's the first thing I would have said if I seen what he's seen. Like, what is this, dog? You know anything about that? Right? No. That fool was rubbing it in his chest, homie. He was all on it, beating it on his face. He was going to town, dog, all over that paperwork, all over that stupid-ass screenshot. Come on, man. Some bad, foggy-looking digital 3 times copied document out of it looked like it was a legal I've been thinking about that, about what that was, and I'm starting to think that maybe that's a page out of a law book. I'm starting to feel like that's a page out of a law book. Like they went and looked on LexisNexis, the law thing, I believe it's LexisNexis. I'm starting to feel like they went to LexisNexis and pulled up Guillermo Tejada, and then it brought up a case, like an actual case that had been figured out by the appellate court or the Supreme Court or something like that, and there was law based upon it, and then they screenshotted a grab out of that. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like they took some actual, like some contact or something like that had actually maybe talked about him, and then spliced it in with something because that's what did it say on a procedural or something? That's what it reminded me of. Whenever I looked at the paper, it looked like it was a law that you were referring back to, right? It didn't look like, I don't know. Looked like they said, we deny him this because of this past conviction a long time ago. We're denying him this in the future, and this is settled law, is what it seemed like. It didn't seem like it was someone's paperwork who was about to go through something. Or maybe emotion. But let's get into this.
For you guys, I don't know who's put it out there. For you guys that believe that me and Gil have conversations behind the scenes, I have never once in my life, in my entire life, spoken to Gil on the phone. It's not happened, right? We've never had a conversation on the phone man to man. Just never happened. We felt how we felt about each other in the past. There was no reason to conversate.
I never heard anything about that either way. I don't know.
There was no reason to collaborate. There was no reason to start a feud or anything. Whatever we had was authentic and real. And there was no reason to come. And now we're both grown men, and I'm sure if it got to a certain point, we would pick up.
What does that mean? Authentic? Well, authentic and real pretty much mean the same things. But what do you mean? Whatever we had was authentic and real, but you didn't talk to each other? Hold on, run that back. What do you say? We like, oh yeah, we respected each other from over here. You know what I mean?
We felt how we felt about each other in the past. There was no reason to conversate. We've never issues behind the scenes. I have never once in my life, in my entire life, spoken to Gil on the phone.
Okay, so I never talked to him on the phone. We established that.
It's not happened, right? We've never had a conversation on the phone, man to man. Just
okay. Never had a conversation on the phone.
It's never happened. We felt how we felt about each other in the past. There was no.
That doesn't mean anything. We felt how we felt about each other doesn't mean anything.
Reason to conversate.
We don't talk at all.
There was no reason to collaborate. There was no reason.
We don't work together. Never work together. Don't talk.
To start a feud or anything, whatever.
Never beefed with each other.
What we had was authentic and real.
But it was authentic and real. Do you guys see what I'm talking about with this speech that doesn't mean anything? It means nothing. Bleh.
And there was no reason to come. And now we're both grown men, and I'm sure if it got to a certain point, we would pick up the phone. And we know a lot.
Okay, so if there was a problem, we'd call each other.
A lot of the same individuals, so we know a lot of the same people that we can get in correspondence if we needed to. But that was never the case. I never talked to Gil. He never reached out to me that I know of, and I never reached out to him. But anyways, so after a couple hours of having this paperwork in my possession, and I was being
couple hours of reading that little page,
told that other channels were dropping it. They were on the cusp of dropping it. They were on the verge of dropping it. And me being me.
So they were dropping it, or they were on the cusp? It's a little different there.
Trying to get the breaking news, because that's what we do as content creators. You know yourself, Dubs. The whole mission in this is to break some news, and if you can go viral or drop some whether it be heated content or debatable content, it's still content,
This is true.
And this was something that was, although I should have sat down and did my due diligence and really looked at it, I think a little bit of my pride, my ego, and also a little bit of not liking the individual played into it. A little bit of everything, So what happened was me and that.
That's probably the first honest thing he said. That's the first genuine thing I think he's actually said the entire time. Let's hear that again. We'll run that back. We ran back the bad part. Let's listen to the good part again. It's only like 10 seconds long.
Although I should have sat down and did my due diligence and really looked at it, I think a little bit of my pride, my ego, and also a little bit of not liking the individual played into it. A little bit of everything, So what happened was me and the person that I talked to, we decided that we would reach out to Gil and let him know what was being said and what we had, because I wasn't sure if he had the heads up. Now, at the same time, simultaneously, I guess this thing was going on with Whack 100 where Whack.
So they were you hear what he just said. Him and a mutual friend decided they were going to reach out to Gil. That's where we're at. Then we jumped to Whack 100. Now we're going to go with Whack 100.
100 was pulling up allegedly to his doorstep and doing all that, right? I wasn't aware of that at the time. I wasn't aware of it. I don't watch YouTube like people think I do. So I wasn't tripping on what Whack 100 had going on at that point. I wasn't aware of how heated and how real it was getting between himself and Gil. Last I heard, they had some words, and that was that. Whack has words with everyone, so it's no big deal. And so, anyways, I wasn't aware that the state of mind Gil was in. I was only thinking about myself, and that's true. That's to be real. And so, what I decided to do was have a conversation with him, try to get a hold of him and let him know, hey, apply the pressure. Hey, look, this is what I got. This is what's being said. I don't know whether it's true or not. I could care less. But at the same time, this is what I have. The next time you speak on me or say anything about me, bro, then I'm going to have to go ahead and let this be known.
What? Did he just say he was going to blackmail him? He just said his plan was to call American Cholo and tell him, next time, if you don't do what I ask you, I'm going to let this be known. We're going to run that back. Hold on. That's what he just said. He's going to blackmail him. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe I'm dumb. Let me look at the comments. Did you guys hear that? I'm going to run this back and jump in the comments and listen to it with y'all. I'm not in the comments. Hold on.
I heard they had some words, and that was that. Wack has words with everyone, so it's no big deal. And so anyways, I wasn't aware that the state of mind Gil was in. I was only thinking about myself, and that's true. That's to be real. And so what I decided to do was have a conversation with him, try to get a hold of him and let him know, hey, apply the pressure. Hey, look, this is what I got. This is what's being said. I don't know whether it's true or not. I could care less. But at the same time, this is what I have. The next time you speak on me or say anything about me, bro, then I'm going to have to go ahead and let this be known.
That's exactly what he just said.
Speak for other people. If they just...
He just said he was going to blackmail American Cholo with that paperwork. That was his plan, was to call him and blackmail American Cholo with that paperwork. And he just admitted that. This is an apology video, right? Or maybe not. I thought it was going to be an apology video. I don't know what the hell this is. This might go members only too. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take this down.
Decide to drop things and do whatever they do, that's on them. But I'm saying for myself, this is what I was going to give him the heads up, basically, is what I should have done.
I was going to let him know, don't you ever say anything bad about me ever again. So now you know what Gunner will do. If he ever has anything on you, you're going to be blackmailed.
About 10 minutes prior to the video being dropped, I get a phone call. Hey, Dave already dropped it on the full. I don't know. It's not the full community. What is it? It was the full.
I think it was the Fool's World or something like
Fool's World or whatever it was, right? Which I got mixed up with the full community, Ben Sock full community. You know what I mean? But it's like, hey, it's being dropped. There's another individual about to go live on Instagram, do his thing. There's about, a lot of people, it was coming. So I said, I got to beat you guys to the punch like Mary Wells, right? So I recorded my video. Now, if you really dissect my video and look at it, I'm saying in my video, I don't know it to be absolutely fact or true. I might have used the word fact here and there, and that's
might have used it here or there. That fool said he knew it from the start. He told y'all, right? Yeah. No, that's not what he said. He said it was a fact. He said, I got the paperwork. Here it is. I got it. I got the proof. It's in the black and white. I got the papel. Blah, 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 blah. And then he did a dance and he said like this. Come on, homie.
My bad, But I absolutely was flabbergasted and couldn't believe that it was true. And I said, and if it is true, it's a bad look. And it was more rubbing it in the wound. I'm not gonna lie. That's how I felt at that time. Like, okay, fuck me, no fuck you, right? This is how it is. And that was my bad. And subsequently, that's why I apologize. But that was my mind state. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna add preservatives. My mind state was initially I wanted to bring it to him, which I should have in the first place, because then he would have, we could have came to the understanding that it was fake. But again, like I said, there's other people out there that believe it to be true. Some believe it to be fake. It's always going to be questioned. I just want to let the people know, because
now he's going to put it out there that, well, maybe it's still true. That's what that was, right?
Out there that believe it to be true. Some believe it to be fake. It's always going to be questioned.
It's always going to be questioned. The fake paperwork's always going to be questioned. That's nice.
I just want to let the people know, because everyone's like, Gunner this, Gunner was the first one, Gunner was that. Gunner wasn't. I actually second or third on that.
He found that Folio community, the fake fools community or whatever. Fools.com or something like that. That had 1,000 subs. That's who posted it. That's where he got it.
It's just my voice. I have a bigger platform than some. So it was, of course.
Fools.com. It's crazy that Fools.com wouldn't be reliable.
But I take that. I'm going to rock with it. I apologize to Gil. He accepted the apology. Again, we had no conversations in the cuts. And I'm not going to say that. But he publicly accepted the apology. I publicly apologize. For those of you that believe oh, you apologize to save face or save subscribers or do that. That's not the case. I did it because that's what was right. I was wrong and he was right. And that's how I felt. Whether the paperwork is real or not, I'm not here to dispute it. Like, I'm not here to say none of that. I'm
We'll still leave that out there.
here to say I shouldn't have put it out there. It was not my place. I should have did my due diligence, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, my next question was gonna be, why did you feel the need to apologize?
No, and I'll elaborate. I felt the need to apologize because it's the right thing to do, Dubs. See, you and myself, having been in prison and having been involved in the streets and anything, what's right is right, bro. What's wrong is wrong. We know that. A real man will stand on his 10. If you're quick to stand on yours and take fades, and
if you've been through the prison system for any length of time, you know the consequences of putting out fake paperwork on people running with fake paperwork. And I don't know how every state is run. From what I could tell, this dude did some time in Oregon, maybe. If he did prison time, he seems to have done it in Oregon. I don't know how they do it in Oregon. I know Colorado is by no means one of the most violent states, but I did 9 years out here. And if you show up on the yard and accuse somebody of this, violence has to happen. It's just the way it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be blades, but you have to fight. There's no way out of it. If you accuse somebody of being an SO and it turns out not to be legit, at the very, very, very minimum, you have to fight. You're probably going to get hit. More than likely, you get hit. That's what you'll see. Or you'll see somebody get attacked. It won't even be a heads-up fight. You know what I mean? Somebody will put a rumor out, and then once you put that rumor out on me, well, you really should have watched your back, homie. You know what I mean? Because now I got all rights to just attack you whenever I feel like it. I could just come into your cell as soon as the door pops early in the morning. Or I could just get on the tier early in the morning and drink coffee and just wait for your door to pop and wait to catch you slipping and just go in there on you and just attack you. I don't even got to give you a fair one or nothing like that because you smutted me up. That's how Colorado runs, but violence has to happen. Nobody's got to die, but violence has to happen. This fool.
And do this and woof and expose people and do all that, then you have to stand on your toes the same way in the reverse, right? If you're wrong, you're wrong. And that's the true measure of a man. A man will say, you know what? If you're quick to smut people up and say things, and well, if you're wrong, man, don't sweep it under the rug and just say, oh, well, it is what it is. I said it. Let's fight. Nah, it's none of that. That's not cool. You're not cool. You're so cool. I'm gonna call you a culo. You're not cool. Mm-hmm. What's cool and what's real is being a real man and saying, you know what? I truly apologize. I was in the wrong. And it didn't take people to let me know that or to woof on me or for Gil to do his live and say what he said. I had to do some self-reflection, and I was like, why did I do that? Not only does it go against what I believe in, not only does it go against what I usually do, regardless of what people say about me. Truly, man, once I took into account what he was going through with WAC 100, pulling up.
Before we get into all that, I think what he just said there probably was true again. That was probably a true statement. All this.
I had to do some self-reflection, and I was like, why did I do that? Not only does it go against what I believe in, not only does it go against what I usually do, regardless of what people say about me. Truly, man, once I took into account what he was going through with WAC 100, pulling up to his doorstep, the state of mind and what that's a whole different situation in itself, right? I didn't think about his feelings or his family's feelings or what this could possibly get him in a wreck or anything like that. I was thinking selfishly, and so I felt that I had to sit down as a man and apologize, and not apologize.
Jesus, American Cholo's got a wife, right? Wife, kids, right? Job, YouTube platform. All that goes away if you touch children, right? Maybe some of it, maybe your wife stick it out with you, maybe, right? But your platform's going to shrink immediately. And the people might come for you. You might have to leave. right? I mean,
behind the scenes, like I said, I could have easily reached out to someone that could reach out to someone that could reach out to me. That's easy. But I felt that I made the what I spoke on publicly, I needed to apologize publicly. You know,
I feel that. I've always believed that myself. Whoever you disrespect somebody in front of, you should apologize in front of as well.
Exactly.
I've never agreed with that. Let me do something out in the open and then apologize in the dark. So
Exactly.
I hear you on that.
So that's why I did that. There was no agenda, no pretending, no faking. What I said was the truth, man, that I sincerely apologize. I didn't take into account him, his family, those around him, his friends. I acted selfishly. I acted, although I acted recklessly. Let's just say that. And that was it. And that's just plain and simple, man. I'm going to be a man. Regardless of what people think or say about me, that's the truth. My motivation was honestly, having been where I've been in my life, that was a dumb move. That was a hasty move to judge someone or mischaracterize their situation.
I think he actually means that. I think he has done some soul searching. I tell you what, that night that he posted that first I apologize video in that little apartment with the little apartment with the little tiny refrigerator, little tiny kitchen that he was in. It was like the size of a closet, and he was in like a wife beater or something like that. You could tell he was going through it, but he still chose to jump on. I'll give him that. But this fool's apologies are trash.
For my benefit. Oh, I had to apologize. I had to because I wanted to.
Okay. Now, I know the answer to this, and I get the brunt of a lot of these next two questions, but we're gonna go with this one. Do you feel that you are one of the most hated content creators on YouTube?
Within our genre, I do. I believe I'm the most hated. And I don't know why. Right? YouTube's big. YouTube is
You don't know why. He's got no idea.
a lot bigger than just us. Okay? There's millions of content creators from all over the world. And every genre, every different aspect of material that gets put out there, everything gets scrutinized closely, and someone always has fucking something to say, right? Some people are just built like that. They're negative, and they see that they're pessimistic, or they're not optimistic, they're pessimistic. They see the glass half empty rather than half full. And instead of thinking positively, they try to dissect and pick apart everything that you say, right? Because they don't agree. Or maybe
I'm really just over this fool's nonsense apologies. All he really had to do was just ignore this and go away for a couple weeks. He'd have got trolled a little bit. But the way that he's reacting is the worst thing you can do. The way that he's reacting by taking away everybody's comments, right? By removing all the comments and making his live streams pay only or members only, stuff like that. That just lets him know that they're getting to you, right? He could have just ignored this, went away, licked his wounds, right? You messed up. This is not something that you can't bounce back from, but he just... At the beginning, he said he didn't want to play the victim role, but this seems to be pretty much going on Dub's channel just to play the victim role.
I do agree, but the way they carry themselves makes them, they have an image to uphold to not agree. That's just the way. You can't change people in the way they are. Now, a lot of people are, damn, Gun, you're the most hated. You're the most hated. Within our genre, I believe truly I am, and I think everyone's starting to recognize that now. At some points it was like, he's not the most hated, but now I see bigger content creators like, oh, hell yeah, he's the most hated. I've been hated on for 3 years straight now, man. Or hated. Not hated on, but hated for 3 years straight. And I can't seem to figure out why. People might have
no idea
because of some of the jewelry I wear, the way I dress,
that's what it is.
I have this crazy ego where I think big about myself. Nah, I'm just trying to, be presentable. I've always been like that prior to YouTube. The way I speak and the verbalization that I use, I've always been like that, man. I wasn't taught this. I just adapt to my surroundings and speak how I speak. And I can see how that could rub people the wrong way. A lot of people that kind of
Being a scumbag is what runs people the wrong way, right? You didn't get kicked out the hood because you're too smooth, homie. Because you dress too nice, right? Because your rims were too clean. Nobody gets kicked out the hood because their rims are too clean, dog. Right?
can't identify with my lifestyle, how I grew up. They're either one or two things. They're either curious or they don't like me. There's never been no in between. There's never been right in the fence with me. There has been now a lot lately, but prior to that, there has never been that. It's either you love me or hate me. And, initially I came into YouTube and a lot of people said, wow, this is different. This guy tells his stories. He adds comedy to it. He has a flair. He brings back some of the old school movies and music, and they like it. They like it. It takes you back. It takes you back to tapes and CDs and shit, right? Walkmans and bell bottoms. But I'm not doing it to hurt other people or to shit on other people's content or to say I'm better than them or their content's less than. Everything that I've done, I've worked hard for. You know how it is being a content creator, Dubs. We wake up early. We have to think about the next spill, and it's sometimes hard. It's sometimes hard to come up with for the day, entertain the people, and then you have to make everybody happy, and you have to thread that line because you can't upset these people or upset those people, and it becomes a hard task. I know to some people it seems like it's just a quick video, but there's a lot that goes into that. And somewhere along the line, and not even along the line, right from the gate, I had the group that hated me and the group that didn't. And it seems like the group that hates me.
That's just called YouTube, man. There's people on YouTube who don't like you. There's people on YouTube who don't like me. And then the bigger you get, the more people aren't going to like you. That's just YouTube.
It's becoming more abundant. It's becoming more in numbers.
But then whenever you get exposed for doing scumbag stuff, see, that's the problem, is that there's people who don't like me, but they got no voice. Because what are you going to say? What, I'm fat, I'm ugly. What are you going to say? Right? We already knew all that. You got nothing. But whenever you start doing scumbag stuff, then people got a platform. Then people can start yelling at you. Then those insults start hitting home, right?
I noticed
I personally don't agree with that.
Okay.
I believe it's the same people with multiple accounts.
Okay.
Myself. And not to interrupt you, but I can say this. A lot of the negative, I think as content creators, you have to admit, we get way more love than hate, no matter what. Okay. But I will say this. The negative comments that I get, it's pretty funny. It's pretty amazing. I would say 90% of the negative comments that I get are about you. It's not about my videos. It's not about what I've said. It's about you.
That's wild. 90% of the negative comments are about you. It's crazy, right? Everybody hates Gunner and he just can't figure out why. No clue. Dude, man. I stayed away from the whole stuff whenever he marked out VPS. Whenever he made it a racial thing with VPS a long time ago and marked out VPS. Whenever VPS barely had any subscribers, he was just like, whatever. And lied on VPS. And I know he lied because I seen the whole situation go down. And I was there for every step of the situation. I wasn't involved in it, but I got to watch the different steps of the situation. And so I already knew this fool was a snake. He's been doing the same stuff the whole time. And that's why you could tell it's just a pattern. Weasel type stuff.
And I don't get it because it's like, for one, I can't understand how people get so emotionally invested in people they've never met. How people pick sides and do all. It's crazy to me, but like, why would anybody go to you to ask about me? Or why would anybody go to my channel to ask about you? So that's why I know, me personally, I'm like, damn, they really do hate this Vato. For whatever their reasons are, but it's just a trip.
I don't hate anybody. I don't give anybody enough space in my head to hate anybody. Plus, I'm a firm believer that to truly hate somebody, you have to have loved him at one time. I think hate is really only reserved for like your ex-wife or things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like I got a dude who did me dirty. I got a dude that his wife kicked him out. Whenever he got out of jail, she had gotten a hold of his phone and caught him cheating. That fool got out. I went and picked him up. I gave him some dope. Gave him a handful of dope to do some speed because he liked to do speed. Gave him some dope to do. I gave him a handful of 20s hard to sell. I took him down to my spot that I had on 16th and Meade right off of Colfax. It was a little whorehouse. Took him down there. Dropped him off. Got the working girl to knock him off, right? Fresh out of jail. She knocks him off. I pay the dude who runs the house, the PIM, who runs the house. I pay him off so my homie could be there and work out of the place. And now I set him up. Oh, and that was right after I took him to Swift's over in the West Side. I took him to get some food, right? Right before I took him to go get some head. I do all this for him, right? And like a week and a half later, I get violated on my parole and this fool robs my house. Same dude, right? So I know about scumbaggery, all right? This fool's one of them.
So go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to put that.
You're absolutely
I get a lot of negative comments that are directed to you, but they're on my channel.
Oh, my point was, I don't even hate that fool. I don't hate that fool. I don't even care. His life's not good. I keep an ear to the street for him. He's around. You know what I mean? And that fool tried to tell on me. So this fool robs my house, right? Gets caught robbing my house. He's living in my house. Like robs my house and living in my house, right? The police show up and bust this fool, find him with a banger and like a ripped open safe or some other stuff. And then he tells them, oh, all that dope and the banger and all that, that's all perms. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's all perms, right? So I'm here in the county. Here I am in the county on a on a PV, on a parole violation. My house is already, right? Like my house has been robbed. I know that. And then here come the detectives. They want to talk to me about some safe. Talking about, oh, well, we found your safe, da-da-da. I said, you didn't find a goddamn thing of mine. I don't know nothing about none of that. They said, well, this dude was in your house. I said, oh, is that right? They said, yeah, he was in your house. They said, well, was he supposed to be in there? I said, hell no, he wasn't supposed to be in there. They said, well, you going to press charges on him? I said, no. They said, well, if you don't press charges on him, we got to let him go. I said, well, I guess you got to let him go then. And they said, okay. The cops let this fool, because I refused to press charges on him, they let that fool back in my house to grab all his stuff, and he just went in my house and robbed everything that was left and then took off. And this fool, while he was in custody, the couple, like the 36 hours he was in custody, spilled the beans on everything. Told him that I was running a theft ring, told him that all this dope was mine, that the bangers were mine, that the safe was mine. They found some safe with God knows what in it. I don't know. It wasn't my safe, but they told him that this safe was mine. It tried to blame everything on me, everything in the house on me. He'd been living there for like a week and a half or something like that. I don't even hate that fool. He's all strung out. I'm hoping he went and told on another stuff. He told on a murder case. And then they gave him like 32 years. And that fool finished his 32-year sentence and he's back out on the street strung out again. Somebody's going to off him, I'm sure. Ain't going to be me, though. Oh, let's get back to this interview. But I don't even hate that fool. So I'm a firm. So I don't hate Gunner, just so we're clear. But this fool's apologies are trash. And this is easy views, homie. You know, literally all he had to do, a more effective apology would have been like, damn, I messed up, guys. I need a couple days. I apologize to American Cholo. I need a couple days to clear my head, homie. I messed up bad. That's it, dog. That would have been way more sincere. Just that right there. Go away for a couple days, come back and make videos, and I swear to God, all this would have went away. If he just would have been genuine, dog. He could actually give a genuine apology, but this fool can't. He's always got to be the victim.
And what's so upsetting, B-dubs, and I spoke on it yesterday in the spill, but what's the most upsetting to me is not the hate I get. I've adapted. I've grown thick skin. You have to have thick skin to have a YouTube channel, you know? I'm used to it. Let's just say I'm used to it. It is what it is. It's going to be what it is. I can't control the next man. Although I would love to, speak to them personally and ask why, that's never going to happen. But one thing I know for sure is, and this is facts, the thing that hurts me the most in this situation is the fact that those who I have around me or that I'm cool with, like yourself, get the negativity and the hate directed towards them because of me. And that makes me feel like shit. That makes me feel bad because I can't prevent it. There's nothing I can do about it. And I know there's a concept and a goal behind that. It's called divide and conquer, like the video I did.
Yeah, I don't endorse that either. I tend to, you know what I mean? If I'm going to talk crazy to somebody, I'm going to talk crazy to them. I'm not going to be in somebody else's comments being like, oh, you talk to them or something like that. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Get off where you're mad at, as they say, right? Find,
Yesterday in American Cholo spoke on so eloquently, right? Divide and conquer, meaning if I could divide them, then I conquer, right? Then I feel I've won. But like I said, there's a lot of dividing going on, but no conquering. So you can't conquer someone who's never going to bow down or break me. The conquering, you might win the battle, but not the war, right? So my thing is when people are going at you or other people, because of me, the whole intention of that, Dubs, is not because they hate you or they want to belittle you, although they do get a little too personal. But the whole thing behind that is because they want to get in between, If we can upset Dubs enough that where he gets tired of it and he just says, you know what, I'm cool messing with this guy, they've achieved.
That is true. That is what the trolls are trying to do. That's true.
Accomplish their goal, right? But some people are a little bit stronger than others. Some people see it for what it is, But that's, I'm not dumb enough to not understand exactly what intentions are and how people play the game, I just sit back and let the roll with the punches, let it play out as it may. But as far as being the most hated, I absolutely believe I am the most hated in the genre. And I believe that's because I have achieved numbers and I have achieved things that people want to achieve and they absolutely can achieve by just putting in hard work and staying humble, being real. I've told people, anyone that's ever asked me for help, I've helped them. Anyone, you could attest to that, Dubs. Anyone that asks me, I help them. And a lot of those people that I've helped.
Has this fool helped anybody? Can anybody vouch for that? Has Gunner ever helped anybody? Gunner help anybody grow their channel? What do y'all think? You know what I mean? Maybe he has. Did he help anybody blow up? I haven't seen any collaborations with any of his homies. See, because that's what I'm talking about. That's what's so weird, right? Like I'm saying, he has a ride. He has a ride. If I jump on, right, or if you jump on immediately and I'm a northerner, ex-northerner, right, you know where your people are. You're going to find your people right away, right? You're going to go look for your people. But I haven't seen, why don't I see any collaborations with his people? Which is weird. That's always a red flag for me. What is this? I super chatted over $200 one night. They said it sent me. I never see it. Then is that true?